It's full speed ahead with post-election cabinet draft, as our girl Melissa Vitelli calls it, courtesy of President-elect Trump, who said he'd do it, and wow, is he. If you're having any trouble tracking, here are your basics on who he's named for each position so far and what each position does. Former presidential candidate and current Trump bestie, RFK Jr., will lead Health and Human Services to make America healthy again. HHS is in charge of the health and well-being of Americans, essentially covering things like aging, long-term care, drug and alcohol programs, mental health, and public health. And now with RFK Jr. in charge, taking processed food and pharmaceutical companies down. Former Democrat rep from Hawaii and Lieutenant Colonel in the Army Reserves, Tulsi Gabbard, will be the Director of National Intelligence, meaning she'll be the head of all intelligence, advising the President, the National Security Council, Homeland Security Council, department heads in the executive branch, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, senior military officers, and Congress. Florida Rep and attorney Matt Gaetz was surprisingly tapped to be U.S. Attorney General. If confirmed, he'll be the chief legal officer of the states, D.C., and all territories of the U.S., representing the general public interest. Trump also tapped Todd Blanche as Deputy AG. This guy's no joke, former prosecutor and represented Trump in his criminal trial this year. If Gaetz can't get confirmed, Blanche would be the AG. Another pick that surprised many, Pete Hegseth, the Princeton-educated military vet Fox News co-host, to be Secretary of Defense. He'll oversee the entire Defense Department as the right-hand man to the president on all matters of defense. The Defense Department utilizes about $850 billion with 3 million employees and 750 military bases globally to make sure the U.S. military has everything it needs to keep peace at home and abroad. On a humorous note, all the employees in the Office for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion are threatening to quit if Pete Hegseth is confirmed as Secretary of Defense, so mission accomplished. Oh, and this is a good one, Tom Homan as Border Czar. He's a former cop and ICE director who served under Obama and Trump. Being in charge of border security, he'll oversee daily operations on border security on both sides of the border, including likely deportations of immigrants in the U.S. illegally. Working closely with Border Czar Homan will be South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem, Trump's choice to run the Department of Homeland Security. Her job will be keep America safe, and that covers customs, border and immigration enforcement, emergency response and natural and man-made disasters, anti-terrorism work, and cybersecurity. It's a gigantic department, including customs, border security, ICE, FEMA, TSA, the Coast Guard, and Secret Service, so girl's got her work cut out for her. Florida Senator Marco Rubio will be Secretary of State. That's the president's chief foreign affairs advisor. He'll carry out the president's foreign policy through the State Department, which does things like negotiate foreign treaties and rep the U.S. at the UN and the American people's interests globally. Okay, this one's for fun. Let's talk about Elon and Vivek running DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency. It's new, but the premise is something we've needed for a long time in this country, to cut wasteful government spending. They're committed to total transparency as they figure out where the billions of dollars of taxpayer money are being uselessly wasted every year. Go get 'em, boys. The former director of national intelligence, John Ratcliffe, will serve as the CIA's director. Basically, the Central Intelligence Agency gathers all kinds of intelligence from other countries to keep our country safe. Former Congressman and Navy vet Doug Collins will lead Veterans Affairs. This department is supposed to give benefits and care to our military vets. Former New York Rep Lee Zeldin will lead the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, protects human health and the environment. Think wastewater treatment. Another New York Rep, Elise Stefanik, has been chosen to be the UN ambassador. The UN is supposed to maintain international peace, protect human rights, and provide humanitarian aid, and is also in charge of climate action. Stefanik has been a true and fierce advocate for the hostages of October 7th, among other humanitarian efforts. Former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee will be the U.S. ambassador to Israel. Florida Rep Mike Waltz will serve as national security advisor to the president. Former White House Cabinet Secretary and top GOP lawyer William McGinney will be Trump's White House counsel, and making history, the very winning co-chair of Trump's presidential campaign, Susie Wiles, will be the first female chief of staff. Now, there are more positions being named, and I'll keep you updated, especially on the very important position of press secretary. But those are your basics for now, and make sure you're following me for more.